Hi, my name is Marshall. Thank you for watching CC24. Today I'll be interviewing Victoria.
Hi.
So to start off, I have some questions for you. The transition from high school to university, is it hard? What are some challenges you faced?
So I think that academically, the transition wasn't that difficult for me, mainly because of two reasons. One, I did the IB program in high school, and I think that that was very helpful in terms of learning time management skills and also being used to the amount of work that they throw at you sometimes in first year. And so I felt that because I gone through 2 years of being very stressed due to academics, once I hit university, I actually found the academics to be less stressful. Part of it is also because I go to Duke University. They want to make the freshman transition easier, so they only let freshmen take 4 courses in the first semester, as opposed to all other years, you can choose to take 5. But even then, the regular course load at Duke is 4 courses. But I think for me, the biggest challenge was actually being alone. And it's not that I didn't enjoy the independence. I very much enjoy the independence. But I think when you're alone and you're so far away from home and all your friends and your roots, it's very easy to forget your values, and it's very easy to suddenly be unsure of who you are. And I think that's the biggest challenge. It's reminding yourself where your roots are, reminding yourself what your core values are, and then furthermore to stay true to those values, even when there's really no one to tell you that's how you should act.
I noticed that you mentioned social connections. Was it hard losing your friends? Was it easy making new ones?
So I'm really lucky in that I had a really good circle of friends in high school. So I still keep in contact with them. Like coming back from winter break, I met up with them and it felt like nothing changed. So I would say that I regularly call my friends back home when I'm at university. I also call my family almost every day. So in terms of that, I think keeping my friends or keeping that connection alive, as long as you put in the effort, I think it's definitely doable. In terms of making new social connections, I find it to be extremely easy at Duke to make new friends because everyone is so open to friendship. Everyone is so friendly. Everyone is so accepting. But I think the biggest thing in making friends at university is honestly, if you have the chance to talk to someone, then just talk to them. But moreover, after you talk to them that one time, if you see them around campus, just say hi. You know what I mean? I think it's always better to risk looking like the fool if they don't say hi to you back, because honestly you didn't lose anything if they didn't say hi to you back, and quite frankly they probably just didn't see you or hear you. But if you get over that and the fear of oh, what if they don't say hi to me back, what if this, what if that, and you just go and say hi to them, that is actually very powerful in making friendships. I have friends on campus that I haven't talked to in a month, but I'm still friends with them, and if I have the chance I'm still able to talk to them because every time I see them I just say hi. And it's such a simple thing, and I think people are so scared to do it because there's this weird social construct being oh, if you say hi and they don't say hi back, then you must be a social reject, but that's not true, So I think as long as you're willing to take that first step, then it's not hard at all making friends at university.
I know that Duke is a very esteemed university. The college basketball team is really famous. So did you participate in extracurricular activities in high school? How did it go? Did you continue in university if you did?
Okay, for sure. So in high school, I was definitely very involved. I spent a lot of time doing debate in high school. So I was on my high school's debate team. I am now also on Duke's debate team. I was also involved in music a lot in high school as well. Just on my own time, I wrote my own songs, and I really like to sing. I also played in band in high school, and I played the piano and stuff like that. So in university now, I'm in an a cappella group, and there are a lot of a cappella groups on campus, and there's just audition processes in the beginning of the year, and so I found my group and it's a really good time. In university, okay, so this is something new that I've tried. I'm also in archery club that I go to on Saturdays, and that was honestly just something that I wanted to try. I've always really wanted to try archery, and so university is a fantastic opportunity for you to try things you've never tried before, because university takes in so many people from so many different backgrounds that no matter what activity you choose, there will be someone there who's somehow an expert at that, even if it's the most fringe activity you've ever heard of. And so it's a really good opportunity in university to really learn from each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there are a lot of clubs and activities in university, a lot more than high school. Do you think they're beneficial, like campus activities?
Yeah, for sure. So the thing with campus activities is that it's beyond extracurriculars, right? So for example, at Duke, if you search up the Duke calendar every day, they have a list of all the events on campus. So this includes like quote unquote like pop-up lectures by some professors, or professors will bring in like a guest speaker to talk about a certain issue, and I really like going to those because it's a really great way to get like a bite-sized packet of information on a topic that you might be interested in, but maybe you're not so invested that you're going to take a whole course on it, or maybe you're not sure if you like that course or that subject. If you go to one of those like pop-up lectures, it's a really good way to gain exposure to the field. And also, if they're bringing in an expert to talk about it, then that expert is probably going to have valuable things to say anyways, right? So you going to that conference or like that mini lecture, there's going to be people who are actually like specialists in that field, and so it's also very interesting to hear their questions during like Q&A periods. There are also like a bunch of artistic activities to do on campus that they just host for free. Like we have like an arts annex where you're able to sign up and then go, and then they'll have like pottery classes. They had like cross stitching classes, embroidery classes, just like things like that. And so if you want to get involved on campus, there's always so much to do. So it's not just extracurriculars then. And yeah, I definitely think that it's very valuable doing these campus activities, because not only do you get to meet new people and you get exposure to new things, it's also a very great way to studying, because you can't just constantly study, like you're gonna break, you know. And plus there's a lot of skills that you learn from having fun that you're not able to learn from the book, you know. Like just the sheer act of doing something new, going outside your comfort zone, you're developing skills, like you're developing your risk-taking skills, you're developing your confidence, and you're developing your courage and things like that. They're not things you can get just studying. And so I think that campus activities, even the ones beyond just extracurricular like activities, I think are very beneficial to someone's university career.
Well, thank you. Well, from high school to university, do you have any do or don'ts for course selection for both of them?
Okay, for sure, I do. So I think my biggest do is actually to just take courses that you actually find interest in. And this is a lot easier in university. You should take courses that you think is going to benefit you, in terms of whether it be exploring different subjects so you can find out what you really like, or whether it be maybe you have kind of like a good idea of what you like maybe you have a good idea of whether or not you're more into the natural sciences and math as opposed to the humanities. Well, if that's the case, then you can take more courses in natural sciences. But I think in high school, even if you do know what you want to do, I think it's better to kind of be more like well-rounded, and I think you should have like a balanced timetable, because high school you're building basic skills, and you need basic skills in every subject. I think if you're going to specialize, you should do that in university. But even then, for me, what my academic advisors told me, and what I agree with, is to use first year as an opportunity to explore. Just take what you're interested in, because chances are, for a lot of people, what you think you want to go into for university, you end up changing your mind because you realize, okay, this is not actually what I thought it would be. Or even if you like the subject, you realize, I don't actually want to study it. Like, I don't want to read about it 24/7. Or on the other hand, maybe you discover a new subject that you actually are so passionate about, but you just didn't know about it, or you didn't take the chance to like take that course or that subject in the past. I think having these experiences is very valuable in actually determining where you should specialize. And so my biggest do for a course selection then is to take risks. I mean, take calculated risks, you know, like you shouldn't have every course be like an exploratory course. Like I think you should have some courses where if you like know for sure you like the subject, then like take that subject. And you also need to keep obviously graduation requirements in mind. So obviously plan a little, but Duke is a liberal arts college, which means that to graduate, I have to take a little bit of everything. And furthermore, I have enough electives so that even if I take like first year, if none of my first year courses go towards my major, I can still graduate with a major. And so so I guess it's a little bit different for me because a lot of Canadian universities, you're sent to a program, so you don't really have choices when it comes to course selection. But I think that if you do have this type of freedom that, for example, Duke gives you, then you should really take advantage of that and to actually explore while you can.
Okay, thank you. Well, you being an IB graduate yourself, do you have any advice for the high school students right now?
I think my biggest advice for IB students is if you're an IB, you probably care a lot about academics. You probably also work really hard too. So my biggest advice for this community would be honestly just take care of yourself. Quite frankly, I think for me personally as well, when I was in IB, especially my first year of IB, I think I was very hard on myself. And that, I think, actually translated to a worse performance than what I could have done if I was maybe just a little bit easier on myself and didn't feel this need to be perfect. I think that the benefit of taking care of yourself is that when you're in a good headspace, you're more productive, you're more efficient, and when you're happier doing things, then one, you're less tired, two, you're more motivated, and three, again, I think that when you're happier, you're also more efficient because of the fact that you are more productive and more motivated. And so that would be my biggest advice to the IB community, which is you're probably already very hard on yourself. If you fail, that's okay. Like, that's good. If you fail, you learn. That's the important part, right? Just get back up and think about where you went wrong. Think about how you can make that better and just make it happen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you being from IB and you had to apply for universities, how did you think that went? What do you want to do next?
So I think that for IB, what really helped me in terms of university applications is the fact that because it is an international system, I think it was more standardized in the eyes of international universities because it is an international system. So I think because, for example, in Canada, it is harder to take the amount of AP courses or the extent of AP courses as like American students, because in America, AP is like built into their school system. In Canada, if you don't go to an AP school, then you have to do it on your own time. And so I feel like IB is a really good way to take courses that would be comparable to AP courses while still having it built into your school system. So you're not doing double of the same courses, or you're not doing double of certain area, like academic areas. So I think that's what's really helpful for me in terms of like university applications. But in terms of what I want to do in the future, I want to go to law school and I want to be a lawyer. Because I am very passionate about fighting for causes and fighting for people in our society who are vulnerable and who are at risk. So going into law, I'm probably thinking areas of law that have to do with human rights, or maybe like family, possibly criminal. I'm not really sure. That I don't even think like I need to decide right now. Like, people keep telling me like just decide when you're in law school, and I'm like, that's fair. But I'm pretty much certain that I want to be a lawyer. So,
well, being in Duke University, you went to an American university. Obviously, you took the SAT test.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go? What was it like?
I think Khan Academy is very helpful. That's all I used to study. Khan Academy, because they work with College Board to create their practice problems, it's literally exactly the same as the SATs. So my biggest advice would just be to go on Khan Academy, take the practice tests, pace yourself. And if you find that, for example, you consistently do well in the English portion and you consistently do poor in the math section, then just do more math practice than you would English practice. So.
Well, that's all my questions for today. Thank you.